Hey Bruins, and welcome back to the BruinCast. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Ben.
And you are...
Braden Himley.
Dude, the OG podcaster, he is back. We are all three part of the Video Bulletin crew, and today we thought it might be cool to kind of break down the behind the scenes of the Video Bulletin, of how we make it, how we got into it, that type of stuff.
We're out of ideas.
We're out of ideas. Teachers, no one wants to do it. No one wants to...
Just like the movie industry.
Just like the movie industry. We are Hollywood.
Bum ba dum bum 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 bum.
Does that make Oak Ridge Bollywood?
I don't know. Can we say that?
Anyway, so I was thinking today it might be kind of fun to break this into a couple segments. We can talk about like how we actually make the bulletin, but I thought it might be interesting to kind of talk about how we got into it, because all three of us have different stories for getting into the bulletin. So yeah, I mean, starting off, obviously there's 7 days in a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every week we make a new bulletin. So do you guys want to lead off like how that schedule looks like for us?
Yeah, I don't know why I was about to do the intro. I thought you were going to ask me that. I was about to say, hey, Bruins. No. But yeah, so we have to have it out Thursday. And so we typically get announcements on Monday. So Monday's basically our script day. And so we just get all the announcements, put everything into the script. And then Tuesday we don't have the class because it's for fourth period. And then we just... On Wednesday, we go get the co-host, or if it's Taven, whoever, and then it's just go, go, go. I don't really do much except just memorize things. So Wednesday's basically the crunch day, and then we send it home with Kyle, I think. It goes home, I don't know.
It magically gets edited.
It magically is edited. Our unpaid laborers.
No, but yeah, so I guess addressing the elephant in the room, Taven's not with us here. Normally he's part of the crew. So we have 4 of us on the main crew this year. And like Braden said, we each have different parts. Like Braden, you're like the co-host. Ben and me are both more behind the scenes. Taven's our other co-host / behind the scenes. So I guess Braden, want to start with you. Like kind of what's your role in the bulletin?
So I don't want to say star because that's lame.
But it kind of is what, like it was whatever it was.
Yeah, I'm basically the what's the 5 and below, or 5 below, is that the store? Mm-hmm. 5 Below Oliver. Dollar General Oliver, I don't know. So I'm kind of the guy on every week, just to try and, I don't know, bring spirit around. Yeah.
Well, and like it's obviously, we're making a production that the whole school sees. It's important to us that the school enjoys it because we're taking up their class time. So one of the things that goes into making it entertaining is having co-hosts who bring the energy like you do.
Yeah, I also actually do some of the scripting. I don't know how much of the scripting Oliver did, but I'm not just like reading off of the script on the camera. I'm making some of the jokes. Like I think originally the holiday was Kyle's idea, and then I just took it and kind of ran. Say, hey, let's do it every week, kind of a thing.
And stuff like that too. It's kind of fun. Like every week we have the announcements that we get from teachers that we have to include, kind of verbatim, word by word, pretty much. But stuff like the holiday, we can do a lot of more improv with it. So once we get on set, we can kind of come up with new ideas on the spot. Even with announcements, we can come up with fun transitions like on the spot. So kind of try to balance that. And yeah.
Yeah, I like how we say on set like we have a set.
Yeah, like fancy lights.
Yeah, everybody will, like Ben will know this too. I think our favorite spot, or at least my favorite spot, we call Bermuda benches. But yeah, and I think the wheelbarrow was pretty fun too.
That was a good one.
Yeah, but we don't really have a set. That's kind of part of it too. Is if it's raining, then what do we do? Yeah. So like we had that library episode, or.
Like the green screen.
Yeah, the green screen episode.
So I guess speaking of on set, like Ben, you're kind of a resident cinematographer. Like, do you want to, I guess, maybe expand on the idea of like not having a set and the whole school being the set?
I don't know. I just kind of follow you guys around and press record.
That's actually true. Like, we really don't know where we're going half the time, and actually, maybe 20% of the time. We're all just walking somewhere, and somebody will say, "Where are we going?" And then we'll all just say, "I was just following you." Yeah, I'll be like, "I was following Ben," and Ben's like, "I was following Taven," and Taven's like, "Oh, I don't really know. I was looking at the script."
Right. But yeah, that's kind of the fun part too. Is speaking of improv, like we have the script we work off of, but location-wise, yeah, it's like we look at our announcements. and we kind of tried to figure out where at Hondo makes sense to film each announcement. Like if we have something in the CCC, we go to the CCC. Like for sports, we try to go to the stadium. So like kind of bringing that intentionality into the decisions. So yeah. So we talked about like how we have the sets and stuff, not sets but school. Something else that we do is that what do we do?
We do the bulletin.
We do the bulletin.
No, we do.
Yeah.
Well, first off,
Yeah.
since me and Braden both went over our roles, what's your role, Kyle?
True. So I like to think of myself as like a producer, but that's kind of shared between me, Braden, and Taven, and we all kind of produce it. But I'm kind of mainly the editor. So after we film everything, I'll take it home and I'll kind of, do the editing, make a complete package. So yeah.
For now.
For now. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
And I'm excited because I know Ben has talked about wanting to step up and do some editing, and that'd be awesome sharing it between you. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've really liked the editing. I think that's been a huge breakthrough. I don't know if it was it you doing it last year?
Last year was a mixed bag. It would have been mostly Oliver and Josh doing it.
Okay. Yeah, I know we've gotten a lot of compliments, especially with the Stranger Things episode, of, oh, wow, the upside down looked really, really good. And just smaller stuff like that. A lot of kind of quick edits, too.
Yeah.
We've been trying to work on that since the summer. After Mr. Bennett suggested Ryan Trahan
I forgot about that. Because, it was... So last year on the video bulletin crew, the crew was me, Oliver, and Josh. Oliver and Josh, you might remember from last year, they were both seniors, so they ended up leaving. So looking into this year, it would have just been me taking over. And I'm good at editing, but like doing everything by myself, I don't want to do that. So that's when at the end of last year, I brought it up to Braden, like, hey, we've done stuff before, we've worked on video projects before, like, what do you want to do this with me? And he said, yeah. So at the end of last year, we had it as me and Braden were the team. So it was kind of fun over the summer, and you can talk more to it, like brainstorming, like what are we going to do for the next year?
Yeah, no, I remember specifically thinking, there's going to be nobody. I remember being like, okay, so it's going to be Kyle, and then that it just ended. And so I was like, okay, well, I feel like I would be a good fit. Like Kyle said, oh, we've worked on projects in the past. I just went, oh, well, maybe I can go ask Mr. Bennett, whoever that guy is, because I never had him. And so I walked in with my course request form and just said, hey, can I do the bulletin? And it was really scary for me because it's weird to be like, hey, I didn't want to sound cocky of like, hey, can I just be the guy on the bulletin?
Yeah.
Because everybody knew Oliver for so long. And for me to just come in and be like, hey, can I be the replacement when like nobody had thought about it? That was kind of scary.
I never thought about that because that makes sense how it would be. Because like, from your perspective, like Oliver was some pretty big shoes to fill. So yeah.
Yeah. And then he basically just said, yeah, just make sure you're working on stuff over the summer. I'm not sure how much work I actually did, but I know how to use some Adobe things now a little bit. Obviously not as well as Kyle and Ben, but yeah, I'm familiar with what it's called at least. And we did work on stuff like for Kyle's final project. I think that was the real test.
True, yeah, that was a kind of, well, you and me, like, will this work as an idea? Like, for us working together.
And so even then, like we had to, what did I think it was called like the Ponderosa Video Bulletin Digital Soundstage or something.
Oh, like some crazy name.
Yeah. It was lines like that I was like, oh boy, if everything's like this, I might be in over my head here if I have to memorize these paragraphs. But then I was reassured, oh no.
It was just like, and that's sort of like one of the, I think, biggest benefits to our current crew this year is that all four of us bring something different to the table. I'm a good editor. I'm kind of a good producer. I cannot write dialogue. I cannot act. Whereas Braden and Taven, they can both act and write dialogue. And the band, you can again, like, you're just handy with everything. Like, you can film. We want to take over.
I pressed record on the camera. I think it's some high praise.
And he's he does the pledge on probably 50% for some reason. We like keep recording them, and then something was wrong with the audio file for some reason. So Ben is the pledge again.
Definitely like a third of the bulletins I've said the pledge for.
Well, it was so funny because last year Ben and me had digital media together, which is the same period as video bulletin. So while I was working on the bulletin, you were in digital media, and at the end of the year, I needed like a pledge for the week for Oliver. So I was like, hey Ben, want to do the pledge? We'll just use it once. You've used it, what, 10 times at least?
Oh, that's where
That's
it came from?
Yeah.
I just thought you recorded it this year.
No, I recorded it last year, just on a whim. They were like, "We need someone to read the pledge," because you were doing like someone new every week, right?
Yeah, and even, like, I don't know exactly what Oliver's process or policy was on that, but like, yeah, he tried to, at least for the pledge, to get new recordings.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But like, even last year, like, Oliver was definitely the head of the bulletin. We all Oliver had his skill sets, and me and Joss had the same skill sets, so there wasn't a lot of diversity. So this year, again, having that diverse group has been nice.
Yeah, I think also trying to figure out what we want to do.
Yeah.
And that went for Oliver as well, of what do I want to do. Because I remember, I swear it was my freshman year, they were like 7 minutes long on the day, or not on the daily, on the weekly. Because I was in biology class and I wanted the time to be wasted. And so, yeah, they were like really long. And then last year, they were suddenly like 40 seconds. And looking at all of the announcements that we have, I don't know how we could do that.
And that's where he definitely kind of cut some stuff last year. But yeah, like, it's the nice thing about the bulletin is, well, at the end of the day, like, the mission, the goal of it is to get across the announcement that the teachers want. There's like a lot of leeway for students to do the bulletin, to kind of add their own taste to it, add their own flavor, mix it up, and do what they see fit with it.
Yeah, and also don't make it 20 minutes long,
And
give the teachers time to actually do their jobs and not just watch a I don't know, B movie.
And that's right for us, even with the Stranger Things.
Like jazz?
Like, we got a lot of really good feedback, but one of the things that we kind of heard was that it might have been too long, and we totally agree. Like, it's kind of fun getting the feedback from students and teachers, and like, how can we improve? And so, well, maybe not fun for. No, yeah. So
no, I don't agree that it's too long.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you don't agree? Well, yeah, because it was.
And it was a one-time thing.
Yeah, and so I think when we did the Office one, it was so good because I think the length of it was 6 minutes.
Sounds right, yeah.
And so what we had a problem with that was, oh, look, these are really funny bits, but where's all the announcements? So there's just like 1 3-minute long bit where I'm just reading off of a script. And so we tried to say, okay, how do we solve that? And we tried to integrate it into the Stranger Things one. I think the reason why it felt so long is because we went so heavy into one joke. Like, obviously the bald cap was not a A-list movie prop, and my acting was not Oscar worthy necessarily, but yeah, trying to get the announcements in, and my character of just being like confused the entire time maybe wasn't the best choice. Like, maybe if we had gone through like they slowly learn more or something, so it's not just what's going on for like 8 minutes. So it's like, yeah, okay, we played that joke, move on.
And sometimes it's hard too going into these things, because when we scripted that episode, we wrote the script for the first half, which was very much a story, and the second half we thought it would just flow well to kind of have it be the regular bulletin. So when we got on set, we had the idea of having the bit where like you're like, what's happening? And so on set, or not on set, but when filming it, that was like, seemed like a great idea, and it was going really well. It wasn't until we got to the editing room that we kind of realized, oh wait, this doesn't work as well as we thought it would. So it's kind of like trying to balance having these ideas and filming them and getting excited about them, but also thinking about, like, in the final cut, will this work?
Right, and trying to know, will the people get it?
That too, yeah.
Like, I think at the beginning of the Stranger Things one, you put like text over saying like, this is a parody type of a thing, so then people aren't confused. I feel like everybody knows The Office, so that was fine to not have that. And I think everybody would have gotten Stranger Things too. But like with upcoming ones, it's kind of like, oh, well, everybody know that. We've got some ideas, but it's kind of like, oh, maybe that's a little bit too niche, so we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, and beyond that part of it, another challenge is that we have like some IPs we're looking at, like Star Wars and Marvel and stuff. But like the biggest challenge that we kind of talked about earlier is how can we tie in a story and tie in like the fun Star Wars battles or whatever into the announcements, where we're getting across the announcements. We're not wasting time, but we're also telling like a cool story and a cool video.
Yeah, one of my I really like the idea of doing a Monty Python bulletin, but there's been some concerns that nobody will get it.
Yeah, I think I like the Monty Python idea, but I remember people being like Taven or Kyle like didn't even know a bit that I was talking about, which I feel like is one of the most famous bits.
Yeah.
You know
Tis
what?
but a scratch.
Yeah, I feel like that's a thing that people know, right?
Well, I know, but even something like that, if you don't know it, it's still funny. Like,
Right.
even if you
Yeah,
don't
it's
get
just like a stupid like medieval comedy.
Yeah. And I think going into the low budget part of it worked a little bit with the Stranger Things thing, and if we keep that through, I think that will be funny because
Yeah.
Monty Python, they'll like bump into a cameraman type of a thing. If we keep going stuff like that, and then it's oh wow, this is so bad it's good type of a thing.
Because like being real, we don't have a budget. We don't have that much money to use for it. So kind of we are a low budget production. So like instead of that being a hindrance, it's like how can we use that to like make it even funnier? Like how can we lean into that? So yeah. So we talked about like how you and me got into it. But Ben, I want to tell your story of how you got into the Bulletin.
It's a very short story.
It's pretty short. It's pretty random too.
My counselor signed me up for it,
And that was that.
and that's the story.
Beautiful.
Cinema.
But don't you've been trying to get to this spot for so long, right? With like the burrito, what was it? The bean guy?
That was just in digital media.
Explain the burrito.
I play the fifth.
Okay.
I don't think I want the entire school knowing about my burrito man escapades.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of how I think we all got into it. Of course, Taven isn't here. I think he signed up for the class because he was interested. Like he had worked with Kyle and me in like the same project actually. Yeah. But yeah, he had done some stuff, and I think he's always been interested. Like way back in middle school, we were doing short films for.
Because that was Covert, right?
Yeah, Mr. Yeah. Covert, our English teacher, but also our film teacher, which I just found out he actually stopped having students do short films.
In the class?
Yeah.
What do they do now?
School?
Yeah, we made short films, and so we had. I think there ended up being 3. Mine was the sequel, but it sucked because all 3 of my people who I was in a group with got COVID in 2-week intervals, and the class was like 8 weeks long. So
mine was like the wheel, right? The elective wheel.
Yeah, it was like a trimester per class or whatever. But yeah, so he had worked on stuff like that starting in middle school, and I think that's kind of where we all got the idea of, hey, this is kind of interesting. So I think Taven probably signed up for the like digital media class, and then was realizing like, hey, I feel like this would be fun to do, and kind of wiggled his way in.
Yeah. And honestly, like I'm glad it worked out like that way, because going into this year, we thought it was just going to be you and me, Braden. Like
yeah,
the 2 of us.
That's actually weird to think about.
Like we didn't realize until really the first day of school that Ben, you were there, that Taven was there, and then it kind of worked itself out to where now we have all 4 of us, and like yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't even think about that.
Because imagine this year if it was just the 2 of us still.
That's so weird.
Like
that. That's actually really strange. I've never thought about that. Even though like going into it, I was like, okay, well, I'll just be the guy on the camera and Kyle will just like do everything else.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, but that was a long time ago. Now I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is the crew.
Well, it's funny too, because like, yeah, before the year started, I don't know about Braden, but I was a little nervous about wanting to get it right, because I've been part of the Bulletin before, but I never really led it. So me and Braden got together. We literally got a giant whiteboard, put it on our table.
Oh, we did do that.
So like we brainstormed like kind of ideas for what we could do, like kind of for hosts we could have, that type of stuff. And it's so funny looking back, like all the nervousness. I think by the second weekend, like we just had a rhythm down, and like we had it going, and it worked out. So.
I think that works for everything else too, because we got like before school, or maybe it was even like the first week of school, we just realized, okay, this is going to be difficult. We need to just plan to have like, okay, here's a bunch of names that we think could be co-hosts. And then if we get like 4 and then we have problems getting more, then we still have those 4 to come back to.
Yeah.
And so and that works with anything in life, I think, if you just start planning ahead.
Because like the Bulletin, like it's a lot of fun to make, but it's also like there's some legit logistics that go into it, because especially for the co-host, when you think about it, we film the Bulletins on Wednesdays during 4th period. Like how many people would be able to take a 4th period like just on a whim? Like we can't just say, hey, you know, during 2nd period, hey, you want to take off next period to film with us? Like we have to plan ahead for that stuff. Yeah, so I guess obviously like you guys have been on the outside of it the last couple of years, like witnessing it in the classroom, seeing the Bulletin each week. Like, what do you feel like compared to the last couple of years? Like this year, we've really made the best improvements with.
I think, like I already touched on, the editing is huge. I think also the chemistry between the four of us, we're not doing it like it's a job. It's like a fun thing to do, and it just happens to be like one of our classes. And I think just all of our goofiness of, okay, yeah, this is a silly bit, me almost like breaking my leg doing a Tom Cruise jump. I was just like randomly, we had like a random baseball, and the baseball rolled away, and I was like, oh, Tom Cruise run, because I was just being goofy, and then we're like, hey, that was fun, we should record that. So just kind of weird stuff like that. It just seems the chemistry is better, and it feels more lighthearted than like a job. But Ben, what do you think?
I agree. I think it's like...
That should just be Ben's job the entire time. I agree. That's all you're going to hear today.
That's all I have to say. No, I definitely think that it's a lot more like lighthearted this year, which is a part of why it's like kind of longer, because we just have more like jokes, and it's less like a video version of the like daily announcements you hear on the speakers, and more like a video like production that we have. Like, it's not just information, there's like jokes thrown in there, and like other people that we get, like different perspectives and stuff.
Yeah, and jokes that people enjoy, or that we think they'd enjoy.
Yeah.
Because there's been some warnings on the announcements where it's like, oh yeah, I see they're trying to do a funny thing, but it just comes off as like, oh, I don't really want to, like, yeah. I don't like that joke that they did.
Part of the joke process is that not everything is going to stick. Like,
yeah. And so, yeah, we've had, I think, times where it's like, okay, yeah, that didn't stick, but because we've got a little bit more time than the 30-second daily announcements, that we can throw in another joke, and then maybe they forget about the bad one. Yeah, and like, this is something that I learned through band and stuff, but with songs, and this also applies to videos, people only remember the two most important things are the beginning and the end. If you have a solid beginning, and if you land the plane at the end, that's all that matters, because people don't remember the middle stuff, unless it's crazy bad. But like, yeah, if you have a solid ending, then people enjoy it. Like, that's like really the main 2 points. Yeah, I think that's also something we could work on, is maybe landing the plane a bit smoother.
To figure out how to, make that ending.
It's not quite crashing and burning, but it's a little bumpy.
Yeah. That's why I think I don't think I brought this up, but I think we should during the credits, like as the credits are rolling, we should have like a little blooper reel.
Like clips that go down?
Yeah.
Oh, you know how like Pixar used to do?
Exactly.
Okay, that's actually brilliant, because then you don't have to wait through the entire credits to see.
Going.
Yeah, this is like what happens too. This is kind of the creative process of that we were talking about. It's just like, oh, that's an idea, and then two of us are like, wait, that's actually brilliant, and then we go like, Kyle, could you make that work?
Guys, so the podcast comes out on Thursday. If you listen to the podcast and then see on the bulletin that same day that happened, that's where it came from.
If we have a blooper reel at the end of...
That's where this came from. This.
Yeah. That's actually cool, because I like how Pixar used to do that.
Yeah, like as the credits are going, you have like an image.
And because like most teachers don't watch the credits for it, they just see the credits and then hit pause. So putting something at the end wouldn't be as nice as just putting like things on the side. Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
I love that.
W.
Or it's stuff like that where like we've, I think, found a pretty good balance this year of having the quality, like the cinematography, the sound, like overall like in quality, while also having fun with it and staying loose, like keeping it light.
I think a learning curve too has been kind of weird, because we had a yearbook person come with us one time and basically tell us we've been using the camera wrong for like the entire past 8 weeks.
To me, the cameraman who's been doing this for multiple months, that I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm so underqualified.
And like the microphones that we were using, there was one episode where the peaking was really bad, and we didn't even realize that we could change the decibel level or something, and like half the time it would be on mute. Or first we didn't even know how to turn the things on. We were like pushing the button on the bottom, and we were holding it for what seemed like a decade, and it still wouldn't turn on. But
let's make it very clear. We make decent bulletins, but we're a bunch of idiots making decent bulletins.
Oh yeah, that for sure.
It just barely works every time.
Yeah. Like there's been so many times where it's like, oh, that's the bell. We have to get this last take. And I'm like, go, go, go. As like somebody's at the camera, just like, okay, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up.
No, you mess it up.
Yeah, I would always mess it up. I can never get locked in. That's kind of, I'll either be like really locked in or I just like will not at all. Like we were filming the Stranger Things one, and the very first line, all I had to say was Bulletin. And I couldn't. It took like 12 tries because I didn't know I could make those sounds that I was making. So I was like, well, let me just say Bulletin weird. And I would be like, Bulletin. And I would just start laughing at how I said it because it sounded so weird. And I just, yeah.
And let me tell you, I hope David doesn't hear this. One of the funniest things to me is when you do that and he gets frustrated.
Well, no, I think that's a thing too that we've actually learned about.
Yeah.
Is we've learned the pacing more.
Yeah.
Because there's been times where it's like, oh, we have to do this, and I've kind of been like, oh, well, let's do 1 or 2 more takes so we can get it more smoothly.
Yeah.
And we just kind of say, you know what, it's okay, we can move on with it. And then we get to the end of class and we still have 5 or 10 minutes, and we think, oh, you know, we could have done that better. But I think we've learned the timing more, and we've gotten better at memorizing the lines.
Yeah. I was next question, and I'll answer it first, but next question is, like, what about the Bulletin? I'm going to answer it first.
I'm answering my own question.
So yeah, I'm going to ask myself a question. But no, so what about the Bulletin surprises you the most?
So what about, like, the Bulletin that surprises you the most?
Like, behind the scenes. So let me answer your question. No, but the reason I wanted to answer first, because it's going to talk about, like, what you were saying with the scripts. Like, I didn't realize that the best way to do it is to learn your lines on the spot. And how well it works. Because really, if you learn your lines on the spot, it goes pretty smoothly. Like each announcement, we take maybe a couple minutes to learn lines. So that really surprised me. Anyways, your turn. I talked way too much. What surprises you?
I don't remember the question.
What was the question?
So like, since your time on the Bulletin, like, what about the behind the scenes making of the Bulletin has surprised you the most? Like about the process or that type of stuff?
How to use a camera. What ISO is.
I tried to explain that, but I don't think I did a very good job. I was like, I just knew that, okay, this makes it brighter, but I didn't know like how to change it because
it was the shutter speed that we were changing initially.
You were changing the shutter speed?
No, the scrolling wheel, right?
Right,
is
but
what you were showing me originally that changed the brightness. That's the shutter speed.
Oh no, I was trying to get you to hold a button and then scroll.
That's also not the ISO. The ISO you have to go in and click and.
Oh, I guess my camera's so I have a similar camera, but it's older. Like I don't know how long we've had it, but it's been at my house for as long as I can remember, and so I used it for an English project that was way below par.
The documentaries? Or something else?
Yeah, it was the documentaries. It looked better in my head.
Took a risk, took a swing.
Yeah, and so that was also a learning curve. But I have this, it's the same brand camera, and I was like, okay, this is how I use it. And so I went and I was like, okay, Ben, this is how you change the brightness. And it just didn't work. And I was like, why is it not working? Because it looks the exact same. They just changed the way you do stuff for some reason. Anyway, I don't think I answered the question. What surprised me?
What's the question again?
I think the question should be, what's the question?
Yeah, that's a great question.
That's a better question.
So that is the question.
Are you questioning me questioning the question?
What's the question?
What is the question?
No, the question is like, what surprises you about the behind the scenes stuff?
Let's get philosophical. What is a question?
You're not the be.
So what exactly is a question?
Define question.
But yeah, I think the behind the scenes stuff has been, I didn't realize like the editing could look so good with such a short period of time. And also like Kyle said about learning the lines, I used to learn. So sports is the most complicated segment.
Yes.
I'll just say that because each line has a lot of numbers, and I'm actually good at memorizing numbers. I remember 50 digits of pi, but
go right now.
Yeah, 3.141292653589793238462 blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay. So there's a lot of like, okay, this school plays us and here, and we had to change the wording too because it was a lot of like Elk Grove, or tonight football plays Elk Grove at Elk Grove, and it just sounded really weird. And then you would always have to be like, is it today? Is it tomorrow? Is it Sunday? And that was really hard to do. And so I started memorizing those lines before we got to filming. And I was like, wow, I'm going to do this every week. And I did it for about a week and a half. And then I just gave up because it was so complicated. And I just realized, okay, we can break it down. And breaking it down is like, okay, yeah, you can see that they're moving in between like the cuts or whatever. But it's okay because saying some of the stuff back to back to back is really tough.
And like YouTube videos, like a lot of like Ryan Tehran, for example, that Mr. Bennett recommended. Tehran, the rooftops of Tehran.
Oh my god!
That's what that was.
I did not read that book.
That was a good book, man. You missed it.
It was a good book.
I read like 30 pages and then just gave up.
Did you miss the banana chapter?
No, I saw the banana. I think everybody, once they get to AP Lang, understands the banana chapter.
I think I missed the banana.
Did you miss the banana?
What's the banana chapter?
I don't think we can go into the banana chapter.
Is it the not safe for work kind of banana?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about? No, Ryan, how do you say his name?
Trayhan. It's like you have a tray in your hand, but the D is silent, so it's like Trayhan.
Tray hand. Hand you a tray. Tray hand.
But without the D.
Trayhan.
Yeah, there you go.
Ryan. I'm so proud of myself. No, but Ryan Trahan, like the type of content that he makes and other YouTubers make, has a lot of cuts too. So it's like it's not like it's not professional because people use it and it works. I guess in our setting it feels less professional, but
yeah, I did a YouTube video. Do you remember that?
Like the square videos, right?
No, not the square video. Yeah, that was actually impressive for me too. But there was one about a race that I did.
Yeah, it was like a guy died or had a heat stroke or something or different. Race.
Oh, well, yeah, that was another video that I did. Let's just go through all of this. So
subscribe to his channel, Running Man or Running something.
Runner's High.
Runner's High.
The video that I was talking about is like the race that I ran in, which was like there was a weird. I had to explain how to do handoffs. And so I called it the exchange zone because I think that is what it's called. But every time I said the exchange... Sorry, there's like a... Is that a cat food thing?
My cat's getting his food.
There's like an automatic cat food machine that just went off. But yeah, so I was making this video about the exchange zone, and every time I said the exchange zone, it would cut to me like doing a different weird pose. And so there was like... One time I was just like, how many times can I say exchange zone? So it would be like standing on something, and then I'd be laying down, and then I'd be like, I don't know, doing some yoga pose. And then one time I was upside down on my ladder, and just funny stuff like that, to throw in a lot of quick edits like that, I think really worked.
Yeah. It's better to cut it in half and be confident when you're saying it than to have like one long take.
Right, that's true.
Not confident, like stumbling through.
That's something we've learned about too, is being all uptight about the wording and being Oak Ridge plays at 4 and
right.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, as long as you get like the times right, the dates right, the places right, like all the other words can kind of get mixed around and it still works.
Yeah, I think not doing things verbatim is another learning thing. Even just with any announcement of just saying, oh, I don't like the way that sounds, but I remember it this way, so I'm just going to say it that way.
Yeah, that you can change it, yeah. Well, that's like, yeah, the Bulletin is just so fluid that you can do it. So, I was thinking I want to talk about the podcast. I also kind of want to talk about, I forgot if I mentioned this earlier, we're all seniors this year. So there's kind of no one next year. So
yeah, that's not my problem. No, I think we've had a few people on who are like, oh yeah, I'll do that again.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're interested in taking over or not, but yeah, we have had some people on who are like, oh yeah, that was really fun. Can I do it again?
So the podcast.
Snack that smiles back.
Goldfish.
So me and Ben have been doing the podcast together for the last 10-ish episodes. But before me and Ben worked together, it was me and Braden recording it. So
that's right. I carried the boats and the logs, all you gogginers.
So yeah, I guess, do you want to talk about, like, from your perspective, like, what it was like starting the podcast last year?
Technical difficulties.
Yes.
I think that's the simplest way to put it. Because we hadn't been doing it, and so there wasn't a lot of teachers who were like, yeah, I'm on board with this. And so we had to get one teacher. I think once we got one teacher, then it started becoming more smooth.
Yeah.
But every time we tried to connect multiple mics, just the system wouldn't work for some reason. And so we had times where it was like, okay, and I have practice after school basically every day.
Yeah.
And so I would only have 7th period open. And so basically I would go and we would try to get like the first 10 minutes of just setting everything up. And then hopefully then it will work. And if it doesn't, then we just have to call it. And I think that happened 1 or 2 times.
Because the first 4 podcasts with Braden, we filmed those last school year at the end of the year, and we did did we do all of them during 7th period?
I think we did.
So yeah,
I think that's what happened. No, we did the first one that was like just us.
Miss Kessler. Oh, you and me. We never used that.
Did we? I thought we did. Oh, I don't know. And anyway, it was back when I had the terrible buzz bleached hair.
Oh, he was not Eminem. Was that the style?
It wasn't that wasn't why I was doing it, but yeah, that's what it looked like.
But yeah, so I mean, for us, kind of doing it last year, like Braden said, the podcast, no one had heard of it because it was a new thing. So it was like the biggest struggle was getting teachers on board. Like, hey, want to do a podcast with us? We can't show you any examples of what it's like because we haven't recorded yet.
Right.
But yeah, but once, like you said, we got the first couple down, we could send the recordings to teachers like, hey, this is what it's like. So it kind of got going after that. What?
I swear, this house. What is going on?
This house is haunted.
Okay, maybe I need to go put on my running shoes. Golly, okay. I swear that there was just like a woo sound. Like, that's what it sounded like, right?
Yeah,
you guys heard that?
I heard that.
That's so. Oh my
Kyle,
God.
you have to sleep in this house. How do you feel about that?
What is going on?
That's my dog.
Bro, I'm
You have a
getting
dog?
paranoid. He has 2 dogs, right?
Just one. But you can meet him afterwards.
What,
Okay.
wait, how did you have 2 dogs then at one time?
Oh, we were like fostering for a couple months.
Okay.
Maybe. Were we fostering when you?
I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Anyway, podcast.
Oh, wait, the 2 golden retrievers?
Yeah.
Oh, that was my grandma's dog.
Or wait, yeah.
We had the grandma's. Anyways, podcast.
Podcast before the spooky stuff happened. Maybe this is all a curse because I went spooky that one time.
But anyway, so the original plan last year was for me and Braden to continue into this year, but as things worked out, your schedule got really busy with stuff, and so with Ben joining the Bulletin crew, I thought like, hey Ben, why don't you join us? And so yeah, well, I just want to talk about your experience getting into the podcast.
I feel like all my stories are really lame. I just said yes and we did it.
At the end.
I think there is more than that though. Like you have to commit to that.
So,
Not
because
really. I don't really have very much going on.
Oh, I guess that's true. I
So,
mean, you are
yeah.
wearing like a fingerprint lock hoodie.
So when you first started doing the podcast, like, did you have any concerns beforehand, or were you like, hey, this is cool, we'll do it?
I didn't want to do it initially, actually, but I said yes because I'm nice. And then we did it with Mr. Beatty, and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It was just like hard to fit it in my schedule
Yeah.
because for trying to get into colleges, like I know Kyle, you're already.
Yeah, I'm in a lucky place where I'm already accepted into my dream school, so like I don't have to stress about that. For you, obviously.
Yeah, for me, I've just been doing college apps and stuff, and with sports, it's so competitive. They really just look for like who is the best,
Yeah.
and so I have to put in the work. Like I go to bed at 8:30, I'll get up at 5:30 in the morning and run 7 miles before school, and then run 11 after. Like you have to be that dedicated. And now I'm taking a math class at a different school at a college campus, so it's like it's really hard for me to just fit in other stuff, even though it was really fun.
Yeah. Well, that's like no shade at all. Like, I totally get it. Like a busy schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, now that we had you and me, and this is I think episode 14 or 15. Like it's crazy. We've already got 15 episodes in.
I can't count,
what
so
did I
I
say?
wouldn't know.
Nothing. I'm just any number at this point.
14. Did it?
And literally any number at this point just turns into a meme.
You know, we've had 6 podcasts, maybe 8. Should I say it? I won't.
6, 8.
6, 8. But yeah,
That's like all
so
I am.
wrapping it up here, then any final thoughts on the bulletin, on the podcast, things you want to share?
I don't really know because I'm trying to think of behind the scenes type stuff that we've encountered. Because I think we've had a few times where somebody's
It's been an hour. It's been going for an hour.
Our longest one.
Sorry.
We've had a few bits where people have come up and just been like, "Hey, can I be in it?" And a lot of the times they'll just be like, "No, it doesn't really work," or they'll just come by and wave, or something like that. I feel like stuff like that you don't really anticipate. It's just kind of fun to have happen.
And as for anyone listening, if you want to sign up to be on the bulletin as a co-host, I'll put the link to our sign-up sheet in the description. There's also like QR codes around Canvas you can scan. On the Pondo website you can sign up. So yeah, we'd love to have you on if you want to join us. So I guess tying into the bulletin for one last point, one of the biggest struggles or challenges with it is the unpredictability of what's
That's
gonna
true.
happen.
With the rooms.
Right, with the rooms, because on Monday we normally script and stuff, but without internet and with a fire alarm halfway through, we couldn't script on Monday, so we have to like adjust to that. And it works, we make it work.
Yeah, and I know you've talked about a few times last year, Mr. Bennett hasn't been there.
Yeah.
And so you can't get any of your equipment. Like any of the cameras, any of the mics, they're just gone.
That's where it's hard. It's probably one of my favorite parts though, is making those things work, because you feel good if you figure out like this isn't working. How do we approach this? And it feels good if you get it, right.
Yeah.
To where you fix it. So yeah. Well, thank you both for your time today. I mean, it was fun doing this. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed hearing kind of some behind the scenes on the bulletin.
Yeah.
I enjoyed seeing the animals.
Yeah, Ben likes the animals.
He likes the animals.
I should try to upload that clip of that. I don't even know what side quests.
Side quests.
I'll try to upload the side quest thing, and you can put it in the credits this week, and we can try it out.
Yeah, we'll see it. That'll be the blooper for the week. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and hopefully we won't die from Kyle's ghost.
Yeah, well,
We've learned valuable things today. We've learned about ghosts
and sudden. With an
Sudden.
N. Ryan Rooftop Tehran.
Trahan.
So yeah, thank you for listening, guys. I'll see you next week. This has been Kyle.
Bye.
I'm Ben and Braden.
It has been Kyle.
It's just been Kyle. Bye, guys.